This recipe is for the best coconut rice that will never turn out mushy, and it's all thanks to an ingredient you can find anywhere, even at a gas station.
That's fun.
So the recipe comes from Andrea Nguyen, who is the author of many cookbooks on all sorts of different aspects of Vietnamese cuisine. With this book specifically, Vietnamese Food Any Day, she really wanted to make traditional Vietnamese food accessible to anyone, no matter where they lived, without going to a bunch of specialty markets with any grocery store that they live nearby. So even though Andrea is not here with us in New York right now, she's in California, she is standing by so that we can call her and she can help tell the story of this recipe and tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong so that you guys know how to do it the right way for sure.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's so nice to see you.
I know, you look fabulous for a new mom.
Thank you. You do too. Well, you always look fabulous.
Shut up. I'm wearing myself today for the turmeric.
You're wearing a turmeric shirt.
Right.
That's perfect. So I thought that you could help us, help talk me through some of the reasons behind the different ingredients in this recipe and tell me the story about it. We did get fresh turmeric just to show people at home how to do it with the fresh stuff, but because your book is all about using the ingredients that you can find at any grocery store, of course, ground turmeric is an option. Is there much of a difference between those two things?
It's got like this really bright flavor that ground turmeric doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have access to turmeric and you just want to get it the dry form, by all means do that. But if there is fresh turmeric, just try it. Why not?
Whenever a recipe says to rinse rice in several changes of water, I never feel very confident with how many changes is enough. Like when it says to go from opaque to clear, like how clear does it need to be? So I would love your advice on what the best technique is for rinsing rice.
Look, it is never going to be clear water, okay? I just want to say that. That is a lie. So it will always be less opaque as you're removing the starch. It will never be clear. If you wait for it to be clear, and especially in California where I live, that is not good for drought, conditions, because the water never really fully gets clear when you're trying to rinse white rice. So just, you're just rinsing off some of the starch. And so I'll do that 2 or 3 times, it depends on the rice. And then I'm going to then drain it in a mesh strainer so that I get all the water out, so that when I add my water into the pot, I'm going to know exactly that I have the right amount of water to rice ratio.
Anything else that does for rice? Makes the flavor better?
Makes the flavor brighter.
Brighter,
Cleaner
okay.
tasting.
Great, worth it. How yellow my fingers are. This is a badge of honor.
It is.
So this is where we need to talk about the very special ingredient. I loved reading in Andrea's book about how, she's been chasing this rice for years, decades really, right? The rices that she was making were using coconut milk, and they kept coming out kind of mushy and dull. And then she realized that the coconut milks that we have here in the US are heavier and more full fat than the ones in Vietnam.
Yeah. And then once that I saw all the coconut water come on into the American market, I was like, I wonder if I could use coconut water instead to really allow the rice grains to express themselves, but also to get that kind of tropical sweet lilt that you expect from coconut. My parents had introduced me to this rice decades ago, but it wasn't really good. We weren't quite satisfied because we were making it with coconut milk and it was gummy. So we just kind of stopped making it, and my parents still kind of pined for it. And so after I figured out this recipe, I made it for them, and their eyes just boo, lit up. And my dad looked at me, he said, "This is good." I was just so happy to be able to present something to them that circled back to a dish that they had introduced me to, and that I could finally figure out a way so that we could enjoy it more often in our family.
By the way, the rice has just come up to a boil.
The rice grains will kind of stick to the bottom of the pot, so again, you just want to move it around.
Okay, got it. Scrape the bottom. And then this is the part where we turn it down to medium, right?
No.
Low, 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 okay. But we're like stirring until it gets glossy, right?
Right, I mean, you're just stirring, like occasionally, and then you'll see that it kind of forms like this kind of glossy layer on top, and maybe there'll be like holes or something like that. But once you get there, that means the rice grains have absorbed their initial quantity of liquid, and then you can just let it and then turn it down as low as possible and let it cook for 10 minutes.
So all we gotta do here, it's been 10 minutes. Now it just needs to sit off the heat for 10 minutes. Continue steaming. Basically, you need to know when to leave rice alone, right?
Right, and rice, it trips so many people up. And I've talked to chefs who are like, oh my God, rice is like the hardest thing to cook. And a lot of times I find that they'll just boil their rice. And then I know you guys at 52 have suggested that too, so treating the grains more like a pasta. But I like to just cook it in a pot in the way that you're doing it here. And if I wasn't making this coconut rice, I would be making regular rice and just using water. Once or twice each year, I cook a bad pot of rice. I just want you all to know.
Do you hear that?
So it's like, and on those
Everyone messes up rice.
Yeah, and it's like, it just happens, and you maybe you'll turn it into porridge or something, or you just, and you eat it, and you move on.
All right, it's time to fluff and time to talk about the other important ingredient. Coconut oil is what brings the richness and also a lot of coconut fragrance. So at this point you fluff it and then you let it sit for 10 more minutes still just to help the grains of rice firm up a little bit more, right? That's the reason here?
Right, you just want to let them settle, let the flavors meld, but also for the starches to kind of rest. And then that will make the grains firm up a little bit.
Okay. This is the part where I really wish you were here. So I hope you'll forgive me if I eat in front of you because I really want to dive into this. This is good stuff. So clearly I am very happy eating this rice all on its own, but you can serve it with curries, with any kind of grilled meat, seafood, vegetables. Those are things that Andrea likes to serve them with. But really, anytime you make rice, this is just rice that is taken to another level. You really nailed it with this one.
I try my best, but success is in your kitchen, in your hands now.
And in your hands too. For more recipes like this that are very soothing to cook in your own kitchen, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and pick up Andrea's book, Vietnamese Food Any Day. And I will see you next week.